Choosing a printer. A printer can be a large expense for your business if you aren't aware of what the printer needs are. Most often, people will purchase a printer because of a positive experience someone else has had with it, or by researching it on the internet. With all of the reviews out there, and with so many printers to choose from, how will you know you're getting the right fit? And if someone gives you an opinion of the product, is it because they sell that particular type of printer and nothing else? It can be an exercise in frustration if you're being pulled in several different directions at once. Remember, take your time, put together a list of what you need the printer to do for you, not just at the present time, but in the future as well. If you take care of a mid to high level printer, you should be able to keep it for at least several years or more, depending on the life cycle of available parts, toners, drums, warranties, and other support issues. Let's build that business printer needs list. Number 1, the budget. First of all, what kind of budget are you thinking of spending for this machine? And how many functions do you want it to perform, because that will definitely determine the budget for you. Do you want it just a black and white printer or one that prints in color? Studies have indicated that if you are doing diagrams, tables, spreadsheets, pie charts, or other printing that represents debit or credit patterns, a color printer is a better choice because it is much easier to notice when a debt shows up in red and a credit shows up in black. That action alone may be enough to move you into the color choice, because if it allows you to avoid mistakes visually when working with numbers, it's just another way to make your life easier. Plain monochrome, that's black and white, LaserJet printers can be purchased for a few $100s and can do an adequate job for you if you're just starting out and need to consider a more budget-minded alternative. Within the last few years, manufacturers have made huge strides in lowering the prices of printers they offer. In truth, the manufacturer doesn't make very much money on the actual physical machine we call a printer. It's the other items that you must purchase in the future that needs to be worked into your monthly or yearly operating costs. Personally, I'm a fan of the color LaserJet printers because they add a dynamic impact to your printed material. Of course, you could do what we did, buy an entry-level black and white printer to use for 1 year and work the cost of a new color printer into your next year's budget. In that way, you will have a spare in case your color printer can't print for some reason. Where to spend the money? Number 2, functions. As a printer technician, I have seen both the benefits and the downfall of multifunction machines. There are business owners who are meticulous about where they store their printers. They don't put them in direct sunlight because it can interfere with heat issues, and believe it or not, some infrared signals that send the wireless print job from the computer to the printer via line of sight. This is usually for older models of printers that use infrared technology. Now, the wireless signal is treated almost exactly the same as the signal that goes to your notebook PC from a router. Even with the best care and handling, some folks are just unlucky when it comes to electronics. And it seems their electronics last perhaps only 1/2 the expected lifespan of the product. On the other hand, I've seen other people who bang, clang, push, shove, spill things, bump into, and abuse their electronics, and their machines can give them up to 2 or 3 times the life expectancy. Do you love the idea of having printing, faxing, and scanning all in one machine? If so, then a multifunction printer is for you. Again, just a few years ago, the multifunction market was plagued with buggy software, long user manuals, and frustrating calls to the help desk. Things have changed dramatically since then. In your business, you may still need a fax machine and a scanner. If you don't like the thought of 3 separate machines taking up all that precious real estate in your office, look into a multifunction machine. It will indeed affect your budget. Also, if one function of the 3 goes down for the count, either printer, scanner, or fax, You can't separate them and take just one piece of equipment or the printer down to the local fix-it shop. The entire machine needs to take a trip. That's why it's always a great idea to have a spare printer sitting around in case of an emergency. Extended warranties. Are they worth it? Number 3, think insurance. Remember those 2 completely different users I talked about on the last slide? If you still have a VCR in your house and it works like a charm, then you probably won't need an extended warranty. That's because you're blessed with something we called irritating technolifia. That simply means that you don't break things, and things around you just don't seem to break. For the rest of us, I highly suggest an extended warranty. Are they expensive? Yes. Now, I can hear countless people thinking to themselves on this one. They say, I bought an expensive warranty once for something and never used it, and I'll never do that again. It was just a waste of money. You could be right, but let me ask you a question. Do you pay for insurance on your car? Yes, because there is a liability attached to that vehicle. Your printer can be looked at the same way. Make certain that when you purchase an extended warranty, if you want to do that, that is, that you are specifically clear on what it covers and what it does not cover. Also, make absolutely sure that if you do get an extended warranty, ask if the technician will come directly to your house to fix the issue. The last thing you want to do is to pick up a heavy printer and wrestle with it and finally get it to your car. Then, place it on the leather seat and the bottom punctures the leather. Now you have 2 things to fix. The repair on the car seat could have probably paid for the purchase of that extended warranty. An extended warranty ensures that you shouldn't have to budget for any unnecessary expenses for the term of that warranty contract. Personally, I think that every business owner should fold in the price of extended warranties to at least their printers, depending on the cost, of course, and their most expensive computer they use on a daily basis. If, in fact, the extended warranty is over 20% of the machine's overall cost, be careful and ask whoever's selling the warranty to you why they are charging so much. It is a known fact that extended warranties are almost pure gravy for the manufacturer. So if you love to barter, feel free to ask for a discount on the warranty at the same time that you purchase the printer. Life expectancy. Number 4. If you're planning to keep up with the Joneses, get out your wallet. A printer should become a business friend who you can rely on. Who are we kidding? It's a machine with mechanical parts, and the thing that goes click won't click anymore, and after you've yelled at the printer for 10 minutes, telling it that its parents weren't married at the time of its conception, you decide to go down and buy another printer, just like the last one. But wait. There's that new printer that has a built-in GPS coordinates that tell you when it's printing to and where. It also sends a signal to the coffee pot to turn on the slightest signs of frustration. And oh yes, don't forget about the ability to answer the doorbell wirelessly and take your guest's fingerprints for future reference. That's it. You'll buy the latest and greatest printer because you can. Ever stop and tell yourself that if you did buy that extended warranty, instead of being frustrated, all you would have had to do was hook up your spare printer, call the service people for an appointment to have the printer fixed, and you can enjoy that coffee now. Perhaps with a bit of Bailey's poured in. The moral of the story is this. Don't buy stuff just because it's shiny and twice as expensive as last year's model. You're a business owner. You're supposed to be immune to spending money unnecessarily. The trick is to keep things running as long as possible before you have to replace them. That means that you're going to have to periodically clean the nasty talcum out of the printer with a rubber-tipped or plastic-tipped vacuum hose kit made especially for printers. Printer paper, because of its nature, needs to have the sheets slide off one another easily in order to have the printer function. The pickup rollers on modern printers rub against the paper and are pressed between a pressure pad and a rubber roller shaped like an egg or cam. When these two meet, it puts enough grip together in order to move the paper through the printer. Printer paper will almost always have a certain amount of talc in order for the pages to separate. It's that talc that needs to be vacuumed. So how often do you need to vacuum it out? Whenever you see white powder in the printer when you take out the toner cartridge. Consumables. You pay now or you pay later. Number 5. Ink is important. Here is where I get to spot off against using refillable cartridges. I used to go out in the field and have repaired literally tons of printers that are in various stages of wear, declined or declining in use because of a few basic processes. The first, obviously, is maintenance. Regular maintenance of your own printer. The next is abuse. People putting through sheets of paper that have staples in them and scores the drum. And then the third is rebuilt and or refilled toner cartridges. Now, I'm not saying for a moment that there isn't a place for the rebuilt toner cartridge market. What I am saying is that while the printer is in warranty, and that includes the extended warranty, I would not advise using rebuilt cartridges. After all warranties is finished, feel free to use them. Just make sure you can clean the printer of toner spills and dust often when that toner finds its way into areas it's not supposed to go. You can have a big problem on your hands. I could almost always tell when a manufacturer's toner cartridge and a rebuilt was used. The telltale signs is the hole that they have to drill in order to refill the toner. That, and the fact that it has been my experience that the rebuilt ones aren't sealed as tightly as the factory ones. Also, because of leakage issues, it can affect print quality. If you are printing only for your own use and don't care, this can be overlooked. But if you're giving copies to your clients and they can see toner smudges, lines, tracks, or toner dots, it doesn't leave a very good impression. To be fair, there are some companies out there that are doing a very good job of refilling cartridges. It's the inside of the toner cartridge that you can never get to and properly scrape away or clean. And that is what can make for bad printing. You can't properly see all the way inside of the walls in order to do a full evaluation. My advice? Use rebuilds after any warranty is over. The manufacturer has every right to insist on it. It's a quality control issue. You will pay more for OEM toner, you bet, but it's the lesser of two evils. Consumables again. Number 6. Upping the ante. Color cartridges. When dealing with buying just one toner cartridge for your printer, you can prepare yourself. When it's 3 and you have to buy a drum as well, you better find the nearest chair because you're going to want to sit down. We own a 2840 color LaserJet multifunction machine, and we love it. Got it on sale, and rejoiced in the fact that I saved a chunk of money. That is, of course, when you have to buy the replacement toners. This expense must be considered when you're working out your budget. If you do a lot of printing, you're going to go through a lot of ink. Do the math on a new printer and figure that you will probably replace the cartridges for a small or mid-sized business at least once or twice a year. Add that to the bottom line and put it in your expense budget because these hidden or forgot bills can seem to creep up on you, and just when you've saved enough money to go to Hawaii for a vacation, you have to buy toner cartridges. Now, if you could save money on your tan and rub black toner ink all over you, but it doesn't come off, you have to wear it off. Good luck with that. Are you getting the idea that buying a printer can be expensive? It can be if you don't keep a sharp pencil, negotiate like a pro, and keep a level head. The cartridges you get with your printer are usually not as long-lasting as some of the OEM replacement toners that you can get. For example, some toners come with a 2,000-page life, and when you replace it, you can actually get a toner that has a 5,000-page life. Use and care guides. Number 7. They are really, really important. As a printer technician myself, I've had to field calls from both field technicians and clients about the characteristics of the printer. I can count on one hand the number of times people would read the manual or use the use and care guide in order to set up properly and maintain their printer. HP has a laboratory that is extremely cutting edge and has an engineering department that does a great job of quality control. This is what they do. If a client is having challenges with their printer, they can send a paper sample to the HP lab for analysis. The lab will test it for compatibility and then communicate back to the client if it fits within their own parameters or not. In short, they'll tell you if the client is using the paper they shouldn't be used in that specific printer. This is very important because, say for example, you took your car to the mechanic and told them it wasn't running well at all. It sputters and spits, has less power, and is generally sluggish. The mechanic checks to see what kind of gas you're using, because on the gas cap it clearly states that you should be using Supreme, and you've been filling it up with regular. Not the mechanic's fault at all. It's in the manual. Quite often, the printer manual will tell you what weight of paper that can be used in the printer. If it is too light or too heavy, you're going to get frustrated and call the help desk more than a little bit annoyed with life. The manufacturer has every right to limit you to the confines of that exact design for the printer, and if you deviate from it, they can void the warranty. Oh, they know all right. When I was at the call center, if you put a rebuilt cartridge in, it would send a signal to the printer's internal memory, and when the tech did diagnostics on the machine, they could clearly prove the wrong toner cartridge was used. It's a fail-safe to keep people honest, and yes, you get to pay more money. The dazzle factor. Number 8, spend just a little more. My philosophy in life is this: buy quality once, because you pay for cheap stuff over and over again. Spend as much as you can afford and finance the rest. This only works, however, if your business is lucrative, making money, and ensuring future growth, which I am assured you are. The quality of a mid to high level printer will almost always be noticed by you and your clients. It's part of your image and should be part of your marketing plan. You want clean, crisp lines, dazzling colors, straight paper path feeds, and most important of all, you want the thing to last. Now, there are people out there that will tell me that they do all of their business on the internet and don't have any use for a printer. True, but you don't have the same needs as your clients, which may need a printed copy of something to take with them to show to other people. Have you ever seen a business plan on a computer screen? Flat, one-dimensional, and can be boring. If you pass out a printed and well-bound business plan to all those folks who have come to hear your pitch, well, that's another matter entirely. In my opinion, we will need printers for a long time to come. We are visual and like to hold stuff in our hands. When you hand in a perspective to a client, a piece of paper, you're saying, this is who I am in business, and this is the amount of care I will use when dealing with you. Buying or leasing your printer. Number 9, it could save you some frustration. One of the options you have is to lease your printer. In that way, you do not end up with the product that you need to keep. As your business grows and you reach the end of your lease, you can choose a more updated machine. The advantages of leasing means that even if you are out of a warranty period, the leasing company may still be obligated to fix any issue you may be having with it. Leasing is advantageous for many business owners because the lease itself can be written off as a business expense. If you want complete peace of mind, increased uptime for your printer, and regular maintenance, contact a printer leasing company and get a complete quote. Let's recap. A review for your new printer. Number 10. I could talk about printers for hours. Pretty sick, huh? It's because they're just big mechano sets with some rollers and dry ink thrown inside. And the amount of abuse some of them take, it's a wonder that they work at all. I've covered the very basics, and I will not suggest to you which printer to buy because I'm ashamedly an HP fanboy. I know how they're built, I know what they can do, and I've seen how long they can last. That's why I have an HP in my office, but my spare is a brother. See, I can mention someone else's printer and not choke on my own words. Let's take you to our last slide so we can put what we've talked about in one place. The end list. This should get you started. Number 1, the budget. Write down all of the questions you have about the potential purchase. The more you ask, the more you know. 2. Where to spend the money. Dream a little bit. Just don't get carried away. 3. Extended warranties. Love them or hate them, they can be beneficial. 4. Life expectancy. Since you can't put your printer on Geritol, only us oldies will get that joke, take care of your printer. 5. Consumables. It's going to happen to all of us. 6. Consumables again. It gets worse when you have a color printer. 7. Use and care guides. Stop using that manual to kill flies and put it to good use. Read it already. 8. The dazzle factor. Buy the best you can afford. After all, didn't you pick the best when you married your spouse? Let's go back to the line above, shall we? Buy the best you can afford. Number 9. Buying versus leasing. You do have a choice. Number 10. Let's recap. A review for you. Forgive me if I did not spell mechano properly. A metal part toy set is probably so old, the group of Microsoft didn't have it in their dictionary on the computer either. Kids. Number 11. I forgot to mention the last part. Enjoy your printer. Have fun. Grow your business and retire early so you can help us with these training podcasts.